Hi, I'm Mark Gallar. Welcome to this edition of the Tea Party Power Hour's Eligibility Update. Today we're going to be visiting with Mike Zullo. He is the commander of Sheriff Joe Arpaio's cold case posse in Arizona, but today he joins us from Honolulu, Hawaii via telephone to give us an update on the ongoing investigation into Barack Obama's eligibility to be president. Mike, aloha, my friend.
Aloha, Mark. How are you, brother?
Hey, listen, I'm doing good, but I think the bigger question is, how are you doing and how is your team doing there in Hawaii? I know you've been there, about a week? How's the investigation going?
Yeah, we've been there just about a week. I can't divulge too much information, Mark, but it's been a combination of extremely difficult dealings to very pleasant dealings. Let me put it to you like that.
Well, it's my understanding that you have an actual Maricopa County Sheriff's deputy traveling with you for security purposes. Has that precaution been necessary thus far?
He has accompanied us for security reasons, and thus far, thankfully, no, we haven't run into any major problems. But that wasn't the only reason why I requested this particular deputy to accompany us. He's a 15-year veteran, former homicide investigator, and has an expertise with the Sheriff's Threat Management Squad, where part of his duties are to track down individuals that use the internet as means of threatening the safety of Sheriff Arpaio or members of Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. So his expertise to us, especially being out here, is invaluable. And on top of that, he also facilitates the liaison between us and local PD.
Well, Mike, would I be too far off if I venture to guess that you weren't getting the best cooperation from Hawaiian officials?
I would say that the official doors have been closed to us tighter than the vault that the alleged birth certificate resides in. The only cooperation we've gotten so far from local officials out here has been from the Honolulu Police Department.
You know, Mike, my email box has been overflowing with angry letters from Tea Partiers, not upset with me, but upset with Arizona Secretary of State Ken Bennett for accepting that really flimsy verification form from the Hawaiian Department of Health. I mean, Mike, when you look at this thing, it's got 12 things that they verified, and Obama's birth date isn't even one of them. What are your thoughts?
Well, we observed that right away, and I can't disclose to you what we've discovered, but it's going to be a shocking revelation at our press conference right around that. But on top of that, we also anticipated this move. Sheriff Arpaio and I had discussed this about a week or so before we came out to Hawaii. I had previously met with Secretary Bennett, and I did report back to the sheriff, to put it in a small set of words that I believe the fix was going to be in, and it came out.
To be fair, I did notice on that response from the DOH in Hawaii a verification of something that Ken Bennett had attached to the original letter of inquiry. I'm assuming that was a copy of the long-form birth certificate, which does have the birth date on it. But yet, when you go to the trouble to list 12 things that you're verifying, I mean, and don't include the birth date.
Well, let me put it, I guess that puts your spidey senses on high alert. I mean, you would think that you're trying to verify information surrounding a birth. The number one item should have been the birth date. I mean, the time is secondary. So either they are so inept in taking care of vital statistics here, or this cover-up is bigger than anyone could have ever imagined. So you look at the document, you look at what they send, and even more, striking to us than just the birth date, because we believe there is a problem with the birth date. If you look down to the state register stamp, you'll see a set of initials beside it that aren't Mr. Onaka's initials, and that would indicate to us that someone else other than him put the state register's stamp on this confirmation or verification. Why?
Okay, Mike, I'm going to be very direct. Do you think Mr. Onaka is trying to cover his butt?
Well, Mark, you're a pretty bright guy. We're coming to that same conclusion as well. Obviously, there's the distancing taking on here, and that would be striking in any circle when you have the individual who is solely responsible and has the authority to validate any document of this sort, and he doesn't. That's the problem. And we do understand that there are a number of these stamps floating around inside the Department of Health.
Well, at least this one didn't have the little smiley face on it.
Yeah.
Mike, you know that last week Breitbart.com released a booklet put out by a literary agent back in 1991 in which Barack Obama was described as Kenyan-born. Now, while I was very glad that Breitbart.com brought this information out, the extremely, shall we say, wimpy way in which they did it, I thought was very embarrassing. I mean, they were saying, hey guys, we're not one of those birthers. We're not saying he wasn't born in Hawaii. We're just saying at different times he presented himself differently. It's not just them. I mean, frankly, it's all of our conservative voices in the media, except for WorldNet Daily, of course, that have let us down on this story. I mean, Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck, Mark Levin, Fox News in general, they're all a bunch of wimps. In fact, wimps is too nice a word. They're all a bunch of cowards. So I have to ask, Mike, are you as disgusted as I am by the failure of the conservative media to cover this issue properly?
Well, I absolutely, agree with you. It does turn my stomach because I don't know how you can consistently go into the face of the American people and on Monday represent yourself one way, and then by Thursday represent yourself another way, and then by Sunday be somebody entirely different. I don't know how you can do that. I don't know how people like Breitbart. Now I'm going to say this. With Andrew's passing, and I want to go on a record as saying this, with Andrew's passing, I don't believe the Breitbart organization, as it stands under his leadership and how they're trying to continue with it, will be in existence in the near future. I think they have compromised themselves. They obviously are not doing what that man set out to do. They haven't picked up his mantra, his mantle, and moved forward with it. And to come out and say that this investigation that is being conducted here is a waste of time like they did just shows how either disingenuous they are and just trying to grab headlines, or they really don't understand the severity of this situation. And I can say that because I'm not in the media. I don't care about what the media opinion is. Media matters doesn't matter to me.
Well, Mike, I know you said you could only be with us for a few minutes because you're busy with the investigation. But before you go, is there anything else you'd like to tell my listeners about the investigation?
We're over here and we are putting in about, 14, 16 hours a day. And I know in Arizona, major media tries to represent it as, we're hanging out by waterfalls and lovely foliage and, life is just dandy. We're in the interior. There are parts here of this state that I can tell you are so impoverished, and that is where this investigation has taken us. We've spent a lot of time, considerable amount of time, pursuing investigative leads, talking to numerous individuals on this island, and spent a lot of time doing some legal research. And let me just clarify for you right now, you'll be the first one to hear this. Dr. Corsi's presence with us here is not as an embedded reporter, even though that's how it was reported. Dr. Corsi was invited to participate here by me because I needed legal research done and archival research done that we did not have the ability or the time to do in the short amount of time we were here. Dr. Corsi is not compensated, and Dr. Corsi paid his own way to assist us on my invitation. We are not compensating him. We are not covering airfare or hotels. He's over here helping us. It isn't for the ability to write stories. As a matter of fact, Dr. Corsi's under a gag order. He can't write a story. That was the condition that he's here. And the information that he's developed at our request is going to be breathtaking when it's released.
And how soon do we anticipate the release, Mike?
Mark, I'm going to try for the middle of June sometime. I'm hoping that I can get it done by then or sooner. But things are unfolding and things are developing. And the fix that went in with the Secretary of State in Arizona did deter us for a little bit, and it added a new dimension to this. Mm-hmm. And actually, what looked like it was going to be almost like a deal killer in a sense, opened the door up to a greater avenue of investigational material. And there's a lot that's been uncovered as a result of it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Mike, because I think things have been just so quiet lately that many people were coming to the incorrect conclusion that perhaps the investigation had hit a roadblock, or maybe that because it was unsuccessful it would soon be coming to an end. But from what you're telling me, it sounds like the next press conference is going to be even more amazing than the last press conference back on March the 1st.
It will be, Mark. And as far as the news getting quiet, it was never the intention of the Posse or the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office to disclose that we were even coming here. Somewhere along the line, that information seeped out. and it was picked up by a local newspaper in Arizona. And they literally put a gun to our head and said, we're going to disclose it, we're going to run it. What we were successful in getting was about 24 hours of being here before they did that. So they compromised us, almost out of the gate by reporting that information. The reason why it's been so quiet is by us electing to kind of kill any media representation at this point, because we wanted to come here on the down low, and that didn't happen.
Well, Mike, I don't know where the Arizona media got the idea that you guys are sitting around the beach with drinks with little umbrellas in them, or perhaps listening to ukulele music, but I personally know the sacrifices that you've made in order to be able to do this volunteer work. I know you've been without a regular paycheck for a long time. I want to thank you for your service to your country, and to just say that I believe the annals of history will record you as one of the heroes of our time.
Well, Mark, thanks a lot, and I just want to go on the record to let everyone out there that listens to your radio show know that you are the only one that I have given an interview to. I have not spoken to any other media outlet. This is you are the only one that I would put this information out with, coming from Hawaii.
Well, Mike, I appreciate that. I'm honored that you chose the Tea Party Power Hour to release this information. I want to remind my viewers to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to stay updated on the investigation. I'd also like to remind you that you can listen to the archived radio shows at teapartypowerhour.com. Most importantly, please let Congress know that you want this matter investigated. Go to congressdoyourjob.com, sign the petition, and then send it to your friends. Ask them to sign it and send it on to their friends. It's very important that our voice be heard. For the Tea Party Power Hour, I'm Mark Galar. Thank you for being with us.